What's up, people? All right, check this out. I'm fixing to break down some news for you real quick. It's like this. You got the Surgeon General saying you don't need masks. Yeah, right. You probably don't need any food either, right? Well, there's another report that was saying you better have a bunch of stuff going on. Um, New York City people, they only have like 200 test kits right now. There's that have already done 30,000 tests in different countries, and we can't even get our stuff together. We have about 4,000 roaming cases right now in the United States. Saying conservatively, this doctor was saying conservatively, somewhere between low 2000s, a few thousand. It's like 4,000 to actually all through the United States. However, there happens to be right now a boycott. I don't want to give you a heads up. You can make millions of dollars. You ready for this, people? Okay. Divest yourself of everything except for uh, Bullet Pacific, Kimberly Clark has got their hands in paper. Let's see. Anything that has to do. Oh, Campbell's Soup. Buy stock in the Campbell Soup Company. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Stuff that you're going to need. Company Glad. Oh, man, are you kidding me? You think people ain't going to restaurants and that? Look, as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a shutdown. It's going to be just like they shut down Typhoid Mary. They said, hey, you can't feed people anymore because you're giving them sickness. You think they won't do that to everything out here? And these stock people are lying to each other, lying to the public. They are trying to prolong this event where they prop up the stock market artificially so that they can divest of it and that they can tell others people, shareholders, hey, look, it's time to sell, and let's get some idiots to buy the stock. Okay, nobody's touching it. Just a second, I'll come back to this on history. So from right here, they postponed their investor day. That's a different thing than the flight that was canceled. That's an investor day.
Welcome back. We are focusing in on the 10-year yield, which just hit a record low this evening. It's on your screen there, 1.103%. We had never seen it go below highs. The Korean market has turned green, but the 10-year note is seeing no relief this evening, 1.1. Let's get to Sherry Kang. She's in Hong Kong. She's got more on the Asian markets for us at this hour. Sherry?
Hi there, Kelly. Selling continues in Asia on this Monday morning. Both Nikkei 225 and Topix in Japan dropping by more than 1%. Japanese yen in 107 range. Now, this is a safe haven, and that's why it's at the highest level since early October of last year. Deep selling happening in Australia and New Zealand. South Korea turning negative after a positive open this morning. Remember, the government there is crafting an extra budget for the coronavirus impact. Back to you.
Sherry, thank you, Sherry Kang. U.S. stocks have shed nearly $4 trillion in value
$4
over just the past 6 days.
Let's bring
back in veteran investor Leon Cooperman.
People with stocks and our companies and our market.
Ask you your reaction to what we're witnessing in the bond market with these yields, which continue to drop and set new.
This is going to be worse than the Spanish flu all the way around.
Stabilize as long as yields keep falling.
Well, the market is basically anticipating further Fed moves, and basically,
oh, he's going to blame it on the Fed. Okay, we're going to stop here just because this is the point where they start asking for money from the federal government to prop up something artificially so that they don't have to lose any money out of their pocket, even though the companies are going to be shutting down. Look, you're not going to get anything past like the iPhone 11 or whatever. They've shut down completely. China's having people that are going to go back to work. They're saying you must go back to work. If you don't go back to work, I don't know, maybe they'll shoot you, put you in prison. I don't know. But people are supposed to go back to work in China under threat of whatever from the government. Well, that's only going to last so long until they start dropping like flies or dying. The hospitals are full. You got to keep in mind, people, that even in the United States, we have X amount of special type of beds like Ebola and stuff, just in 3 different locations. It's not many, 20 a piece. And then also in ICU, if you could turn those into something worth something, that's minimal. change those. I'm sitting here coughing. Hey, I might be all croned up now. No, I'm fixing to have some water. So I had a cigar. So I'll tell you, we don't have enough room in our hospitals for us. So even if there's like, say, 100,000 or how many, beds in the hospital, each state's got millions of people in it. They're going to have to quarantine you at home. My question is, and someone has already done that, so they're going to let us know on Twitter. My question is, hey, are they going to bring you ice water, MREs, whatever you need? Or they're going to drop the ball on you? You need to have 8 weeks supply, 6 to 8 weeks minimum supply of canned goods in your home, people, because I'm telling you, if you're in your home and you can't leave, that's where you're at. And you got to do it before you get quarantined. You see what I'm saying? And so doing a run on the stores now is not like a run on the bank. It's not like that I'm calling for a run on the bank. That would be bad. You're not going to want that paper money. There'll be a time when people won't want paper money. They'll say, no, it might have germs on it. They'll be like, can't you use a credit card? Do you have silver coins or whatever? Hey, it's going to be, your world's going to change. They will be closing schools. I'll guarantee you, we will be lucky to see the end of this year if whoever's in school this year in regular public schools, and then colleges, once they see that one college, it just take one, that everybody gets sick in it, and maybe one kid dies in, they're going to be like, I'm paying money for my kids to go there and possibly die? Oh, hell no. That'll be the end of that. So they will shut down colleges. Listen, it'll be like the year without a summer. It'll be the year, a couple of years or whatever. They're saying this thing's going to come round and round year after year. Well, until they squash that mess, it's going to be different. You're going to live a different life. And like I said, the Surgeon General saying you don't need masks, that's crazy. That's crazy. They're just saying they think there's going to be a shortage of them or whatever. Oh, man, they're saying they had so many. They admitted that they don't have enough for the whole public. So I'm more concerned in the end of this all is if something pops off and we wind up in a fight with some other place, do we have the provisions for everybody to become militarized? That's where I'm at. I'll be honest with you. I've already played this to the end game. I mean, I can see that the Pope is probably going to pass away. Keep in mind, I was baptized into this world as Roman Catholic. Where I'm at on this, I have a King James Bible, though, and it tells me that you prepare and you use your mind. You don't just let religion guide you and say, oh, well, we need to comfort these people and, God will save us from a bioweapon or this, that. I'm going to tell you, I wish he would have had a better advisor. I wish I could have advised him. I'd have told him, no, you don't go around those people because it's a disease that could kill you. He's 80 years old. That Dr. Lee, that was in Wuhan, China. He was in his 30s, and he walked every day to work and was in good health and everything else. Listen, this is a deadly pathogen, no matter what you want to call it. There's not going to be a cure for it. And if there was, since they found in it snake DNA, pangolin or whatever DNA, HIV, a strand of HIV is what they're calling it, a certain marker. It has a up to 12 to 20 something day. I don't know if you would call it latency or if it goes dormant or if you would call it in its whatever stage you want to call it, where you're infectious but dormant. Well, I don't know, but it's actually active. So you are infectious as anyone could be. However, the virus doesn't show signs. So that is associated. The only other disease that does that is anthrax. How about that? And then if you take the SARS that's in it, they know it's SARS. That's why they're calling it SARS-2, and they say it causes the disease called COVID-19. Well, COVID or COVID-19 is similar to the way that the virus HIV causes AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. So they're saying this SARS-2 causes the COVID-19. So this is where they're talking above your heads too. So I'm bringing this up for a reason. When they say that people are confirmed with COVID-19, they're not talking to you. They're talking above you. They're talking to other health professionals to make them understand that it's like full-blown AIDS. Like they were not just tested as having SARS in them, but it went full-blown stuff in their lungs. And this stuff that it causes, this infection in their lungs, is even different from the SARS. The original SARS was a different color of a fluid. This stuff is like a gray jelly. And I don't know if they could get it out of your lungs, if they could expectorate it, if they could even cut you open and get it out. To be honest with you, there was one guy that had a hardening of the lungs. Okay, hard as a pancake. Spongy but useless. So honestly, truthfully, it's causing your organs to shut down. It is causing your lungs to fill with this jelly stuff, and it will kill you. It's going to take them curing each of those individual diseases. They're saying that remdesivir, whatever that stuff is, for AIDS treatment is working in some patients. The thing is, because it's part AIDS, part something like anthrax, part something like SARS, which is the original SARS, but it's changed, and what was the other thing they found in it? I don't even know. It's like it's a patchwork quilt of the worst diseases ever. They're going to have to find a cure for each individual one, put it together similar to when you have triple antibiotic ointment on your for a cut on your hand. They actually have a 5 antibiotic. It's a shot. Okay, they're going to have to make a Hail Mary pass out of a whole bunch of cures that probably I'll tell you what, the side effects are going to be worse than disease in the first place. Probably give you something similar to, like I was saying, it'll be something similar to lupus, where they'll chase down they can't fix the disease, but they'll chase down the effects and try to treat those. Anyway, that's getting way off into left field. I got a whole nother video I'm going to do on that. And I'm going to do a video and I'm going to get together some stuff out of the Bible. I'm going to show you people that the Bible itself, okay, doesn't have the answer to everything about this. What it does say is it wants you to do something. God wants you to do something first before he's going to give you anything. You're not just going to be cured if you haven't even put on any protective equipment and you've gotten a high dose of this stuff. It's like radiation. The more you get of it, the worse off you're going to be. If you don't even wear a mask, you don't wear any kind of goggles, and you have no kinds of protection, especially if you know you're going into a hospital or area where other people are affected by this stuff or whatever. You go walking around the mall like it's no big deal. When this stuff completely saturates the United States, it's going to be one of those things where you're just the person that laps water and doesn't look on the horizon, and you need to be cut. You're just the person who doesn't turn his plowshare back into a sword when it's needed. It says turn your swords into plowshares. Well, you don't need a sword, and a plowshare will actually help you. Right now, I would recommend plowing up some dirt and planting a garden. But on top of that, you still need weapons. You need a bayonet. You'll be provided one if it pops off. But I'm telling you, there's a time to plan, and you should plan and do things now to procure the food that you need. Because you can't ask for help from God when you didn't even help yourself and you did nothing. It's all through the Bible. The Bible is a book of war. It tells about warfare. It tells, like I said, the way to separate people. There's going to be useless people. There will be useless people who are unfit for duty. Either they are too young and they're not ready, or they are the kind that you would think it takes them, if you had a squad or a battalion, doesn't matter, however many of them, it takes them too long readiness level. Not like they complain about the heat or this or that. Look, there is a reason that, he said, hey, take the ones that have their eye on their horizon and bring the water up to their mouth when they drink, and the ones that lap you cut. He was asking for more men in that situation about, but there's other places too that it talks about warfare. I'll get into that for a good reason, because we may be headed in that direction. Okay. I don't think that some countries are going to want to go out like this. I honestly don't. That's just my opinion. Okay, call it based on history. You can look back at the plagues. Will attack that country, even if it's not true. That's why a lot of these countries are lying about the numbers and not telling the truth. They're calling it national security in their eyes but they don't get it. We've got to have an idea of where this stuff's at. Everybody's got to put all the cards on the table for this one so that we can beat it. It needs to be like the Spanish flu. Well, Spain was honest. That's how we call it, the Spanish flu. Everybody had it, but they gave true numbers. Right now, Iran's lying about their numbers, but even they're showing high numbers. Italy seems to be honest. They got the Pope out there coughing. I'll get into some stuff. Like I said, I'll show some stuff real quick, but it could be a big hodgepodge. I could do a smorgasbord of talking about 1,000 different points in this one thing. I just wanted to get off my mind a few of those thoughts to let you know what I'm leading into in a different video, but to let you know that this one here, the stock market is going to go down. Of course it is. If you want to invest in stocks, invest in the paper companies that one's going to make money, and quit complaining about where you're going to lose money at. And don't worry about it. It'll come back. But in the meantime and in between time, we need to focus on our health of our nation. They need to shut down all plane travel between states, period. They don't need to worry about, the ones that are still on vacation, well, they pay for their vacation. They were planning it all their lives, and who gives a damn about Italy and you going there when you're going to possibly come back with a deadly disease that could kill half of America? We're looking at, it's going to be a high death rate. It's going to be, look, that guy was fit and he died. There are babies that have died, and there are older people that have died. It's all across the gamut. And there's no cure. There's only Tylenol and chicken noodle soup until you get to that stage where they say it's compassionate care and they can try something on you that they hadn't tried before, and you might or might not die. Look, if the guy that just died in Washington State could have been saved, he would have been saved. He died. Okay? I think that one was 50. That's why I'm saying the Pope at 80 years old, I don't think they'll be able to save him. It is what this is. This is a bioweapon. So whether you believe it is or not, it is a dangerous disease that just kills people. And we don't have a way to save people. So there's that. I'll pray for him. He's closer to God than I am. He can pray for himself too, and the whole congregation and everybody can pray for him. But those prayers, I'm telling you, are not going to go as far as it would have been if he would have just had somebody telling him, don't go hugging on these people. Stay away from these people. This is a sickness that could kill you. I guess he didn't care. So I don't know how they're going to come out of that one. I think in about 2 weeks, they'll be together, all the bishops and everything. They wash each other's feet every once in a while. They do different things. I understand that's once a year. I'm trying to make a point, though. They're so close together. I really don't know how they all wouldn't have it. So they may need some bishops to step up and go to the Vatican and take over everything when those people pass away from this thing. It is a foregone conclusion that this kills people. It just does. And it's very indiscriminate. And I know that they have the ability to put this towards genes, but I don't believe that it has anything to do with different genes. Now, having said all of this, Wuhan is foregone conclusion. And they're welding people shut in their places. I think they know that they're going to die, and they're going to just keep them there till they do. I don't think they're bringing them. Let me go further here. How about this? I was going to go to the internet. That's what I was going to do. Let's go there real quick. Because seriously, there was something on here. That's where the Surgeon General wants Americans to stop buying face masks. Okay? They were saying that it was because it was going to cause shorts. Okay? They're not effective in preventing general public from catching coronavirus. Yeah, guess what? The full biosuit didn't stop the people in Wuhan who were taking care of other people, all of those healthcare workers, thousands of them that are sick right now, over 2,000, that could probably die from it, just like Dr. Lee, okay? All because it's almost impossible to not get this, especially if you're in an environment that is so saturated with the virus, okay? People are shedding it when they go into these hospitals. They're dying in the hallways. If they don't get it, they're getting it in those, I'm calling them concentration camps because they've shown there's no bathroom, no nothing. So this is from the Surgeon General. Okay, I wanted to go into this real quick too. This guy on Twitter, if I can get into this there. Okay, American Airlines flight. This is a big deal. AA198 scheduled at 6:05 p.m. from JFK to Milano. That would be Italy. Malpensa has been canceled because the crew members refused to get on board. Coronavirus threat. Okay, status canceled. You see this? Look, it's that staycation that, we've been joking about on CB radios and talking about. Yeah, good for them. And see, good about time airline staff started taking their own hands, shut all flights down. Soon it will be no difference between Milan and New York. And see, New York is going to get it from New Jersey, where they were there. They're going to go through the tunnel. And Iran is going to keep spreading it because they're like, if it's, God's will, or, they say Allah's will, that they died, they'll die. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? So there's going to be so many of those that die, and they think of it as something they can't see, and they think it's just their time, right? On top of that, if you go from Iran over to Italy, I mean, they had the Pope, going and hugging all those people. Oh, we love you. It's okay that you were, on a quarantine or whatever. Oh, man. And then there's that. But the worst, I think, is going to be India. They all cram into these trains, and I mean cram like sardines. Like there's no room, and they have to wait on the next one. Somebody pushes them in and shuts the door. Those people are going to spread that so fast. And that's what I wanted to go into. Was there was a couple other things on here that I had put up. Let's see if I can find my profile. All right, let's see. This is where even New York Post said the coronavirus may have leaked from a lab. I'm not going to get into that because I want to be to here. Okay, and they were talking about using trailers. I said you might want to not want to use the formaldehyde trailers. We will go into this. Okay, facing emergency crisis, officials in the Seattle area are going to open isolation centers for coronavirus because they're overwhelmed up there. It's close to purchasing a whole hotel. They're going to buy an entire hotel for isolation. Also planning to repurpose modular homes, per the New York Times. So you can get into that. This is stuff that I wanted to show. The lung damage is different from multiple organs. Also shut down. That's this one. I'll try to get a link off of YouTube and put it through. But the Chinese city orders destruction of all coronavirus intel, all of their information on that's in that video. Let's see, that's where she said the patients were cremated alive. Let's see, this is where Michael Savage is saying he's trying to slow the spread of the virus to help the people. He's trying to tell what's going on. Let's see, they test for African swine fever meat products from China. Okay. I think a lot of stuff got out of that lab. I think that's why they lost their pigs too. Let's see. Here. Permission to go out for groceries. That's this one here. Let's see. What was this one about though? I don't know, but there's a in California, okay, very close to where those people are at, but they're like, oh, they were in no contact. Well, yeah, it's in the air. It's a vapor. Unless they're in the middle of nowhere with 100 acres around them, it's going to spread that area. Let's see. That's where they were denied to go out. Oh, Iran's former ambassador to the Vatican, Hadi Khosrowshahi, has died of the coronavirus. See, he was the ambassador to the Vatican. So he died of the coronavirus and met with the Pope, and of course he got it. That's from Iran over to there. Iran is a hot spot. That's out of Korea. They have that going on. That's Hawaii. Like, it's everywhere, people. But as far as the United States, I'm going to get up numbers and show what's going on with the U.S. as best as I can. They're about to allow all those migrants all through Europe. And so if they come from Iran, they're going to bring a lot of stuff with them, coronavirus included. That's Florida. Let's see. Yeah, Azerbaijan, Mexico said someone tested positive, but they're waiting for a second test. Whatever. If you can even get it to show sent out, then you're doing something miraculous. Because honestly, they're going false negative all the time. Let's see here. Yeah, it's going to implode global markets there. We're not worried about the markets. We're worried about people's health. Most of the people that we're talking about don't have money in the markets anyhow. Okay? We're all struggling and doing the best we can. Illness forces the Pope to cancel an event at the Vatican a day after showing. I'd like to see behind that video of the Pope. Let's see here. Okay. I wonder if this one is it here. Eyes on cue, illness forces. Yeah, that's where he definitely has it. Okay, but he was coughing in a video that I have found somewhere. I thought I had retweeted it. That it showed him trying to do a speech out of a window, and he couldn't even for 2 seconds without coughing. He couldn't talk. Let's see here. Which my throat's getting dry right now. I'm gonna need to drink something, or I'm gonna probably cough. Let's see what we got here. That's from the Vatican. Man. Let's see. I'm going to try to find. If I have to, I'll look on. If I have to, I'll look on YouTube for it. But somewhere was where the Pope was actually talking. But they actually did. They did do a. This is where they did a. I think this is where they did a autopsy. I could be wrong. If this is China.
TD revealed a province close to Beijing ordered a city to destroy data on the coronavirus epidemic. Published its very first coronavirus patient autopsy. Here's what they know about the way the virus infects.
It shuts down organs.
The first death of the novel coronavirus in the U.S. The man is from Washington State, where the governor has declared a state of emergency. The Trump administration is expanding travel restrictions on Iran. They also said Americans should avoid traveling to regions in South Korea.
We need to quit traveling in the U.S.
Welcome to China in Focus. I'm your host, Tiffany Meyer. Internal documents obtained by NTD reveal Liaoning Province, which is close to Beijing, has ordered a city to destroy data on the coronavirus epidemic. Liaoning Province has been on lockdown for more than 20 days amid the coronavirus outbreak. One city, Chaoyang in Liaoning Province, said the city's transport department as well as 2 district authorities had already followed an urgent instruction from the province and destroyed all data. According to the report, Chaoyang City was also required to register all people who had contact with the data. The data mentioned in the report referred to information about people who had close contact with those infected with the virus. There were 13 signed non-disclosure agreements attached to the report. The agreement refers to classified data obtained on February 21st.
So, that was on the 21st. They already knew. So, of course, they lied. How to find that thing where the Pope was. Maybe I can even search. Let's see if we can search. Pope. I think I did the search on YouTube and found it on something Italian news thing. Thread. What is this now? Fake news from MCM claiming the Pope has coronavirus. The domain is registered. Yeah, but no, they showed him coughing too. Here's where Daily Mail has it. So if they're saying that's fake, MCM News, okay, look, this is Daily Mail. Illness forces the Pope to cancel event. Vatican City after showing solidarity with coronavirus sufferers. See, he was like all, showing solidarity with coronavirus people, right? And being around them. And then they're saying that he caught it. So a day after supporting coronavirus sufferers, there he was. So, and that's the New York Post who was talking. Let's see. He may not have been found positive for it, but you look at what he did, though. Where's the video here? Strange illness forces him to cancel an event at the Vatican a day after that. Let's see here. Show the video. Yeah, they already said this. Hold on a second here. Is this the one where he was coughing? No, this is a different one, probably, where he was coughing. This is a different one where he was coughing. No, and that's where they're watching him. Canceled for a second time. He's taken ill. There was one where he was coughing out of a window while he was talking and saying, "See SGT report." The other guy died from it, though. That was his liaison from Iran. So where was the one where he was talking is the question. I don't know what that is. Where's the one that was? There was one that was. He was talking out of the whatever floor of. Of course, they put crazy stuff up there. Yeah, they're going to blow smoke. Let's see, what is this now? I'm going to have to maybe even look it up on YouTube. But the point is, let's see if we can go back to home. Let's see. I'll have to move that. There's the home button. Okay. Oh, yeah, this was one. Let's see. That Professor Steve, he was the first one, and that guy said about the airline flight. Maybe this guy had something else. The professor had something else, I thought. Let's see. Video from the isolation hospital. That was just showing where there's no help. That's showing where they're making babies cry. It's kind of crazy. Unruly passengers were pepper sprayed on a cruise. Let's go all the way up here. See if we can get up to the top. This is, like I said, a lot of information is coming out all at once on Twitter now. New coronavirus case in Sonoma County, California. Patient recently returned from a cruise ship that departed from San Francisco to Mexico. Yeah, wow. Just to Mexico. It could be on the same ship. It could just be a ship that somebody else took. There's a lot. There's so much going on. But I wanted to bring it to your attention that it's going to crash the stock market within the next few weeks, if it doesn't even in the next couple of days. Coronavirus, that's the BNO News. That's the map right now of what's going on, where all those spots are. Orange is usually less than 20, which they're showing even in the U.S. Maybe we should check that out just to get the U.S. map. But they've about 4,000, I'm sure, became reinfected from an outside source. They're saying that it has within itself, similar to anthrax, like I was saying, I think they mixed it with anthrax, some kind of a dormancy. Oh, 2 fingers to move the map. Got on to me last time. So let's check this out. Check out the good old US of A. I don't know how much Antonio. February 13th, February 15th, February 24th. 3 new cases from Diamond Princess. Yeah, the dying princess. Okay. Anyhow, there we go. It's showing a little bit better now. So what I wanted to do was see there was a state other than Washington. So they're not showing. Oh man, it was some other state showing. It should be showing New York and New Jersey, but it's, I don't see how. How can you not show New Jersey when all those people got? That guy Shrimp Zoo was talking about the ones in New York because he's got family working in the. How these people are being tested because there's only 200 kits in this one place. So the CDC in Atlanta has to do everything, and we haven't tested that many. And they're waiting to see. They're waiting for 2 weeks to see where everybody's at. Instead of testing and trying to find people now and quarantine them and keep them from spreading it, there's about, anywhere from 4,000, I'm saying more towards 4,000 in the United States roaming around right now spreading the virus. They need to shut down all air travel. That's just where I'm at on that. So, leadership in Iran had it, I believe. So, it's not something. Those bunkers, they're going to have to come out eventually and get this, or they're going to possibly even have it before they go in there. I don't know what type of a filtration system they have for their air that goes into them, and I don't, like I said, I've seen some shoddy built, different, and I think they said that that one guy that's got a lot of money, he has like other houses, and all of them have bunkers in them. They've been waiting on this for a while, but it's not going to save them. It's just not, and definitely can't beat it. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat it, and I'm younger than half of them people. The doctor was 10 years younger than me or more, 15, I don't know, and he died. And he was probably in better shape because I'm in pretty good shape and I'm built. Cardiovascular fitness comes from walking all the time, and they walk all the time over there. I don't know what to say on that, but there's been a lot, I'm no better. The meek shall inherit the earth. I'll get into that. I'm going to go into the Bible about the things about war and the things, in the Bible. And we may be getting a different pope, and we may be having lots of different changes. But I think they're going to be able to, or have to, shut down schools. They're going to have to shut down churches, quarantine people in their houses because there's no room in any of the hospitals. There's not going to be. There's not enough is what I'm saying. They're not overwhelmed now. They were overwhelmed. Y'all stay safe, and I'm just gonna show you this right here. Like I said, that their numbers are so far off, it's not even funny. I don't know what else to say. And they all know that Iran's lying and that China's lying. Give us closer to the truth on numbers. I think that you're going to see how fast it spreads and the entire planet, and that's the RO. They're going to have to do this one country at a time. So I'll break down some numbers, and I'll give an RO for each country, because that one woman in, I believe that was South Korea, where she was a member of a Christian, they called it a cult, but it's a Christian church, and she infected, definitely, I said they had a total infecting possibly 4,000 that turned around and infected 100,000. If that happened, that the RO goes for 4,000 people infected 100,000. That's a high RO, or not, a spread from, I believe, from Italy. I think they're going to lie about how many people die. I don't think they're going to lie about how many people have it once they figure out for sure and test them positive as having it. And that will be just like how Spain was in the 1918 Spanish flu is what they called it, because Spain was honest. That's about all I've got for right now. Just go everything, and it's a big deal that they said they're going to do a staycation on the airline. And you watch, there will be truckers. It ain't going to be every trucker, but there will be truckers that say they're going to run till they feel that there's a level of danger to it, and then they're going to say, okay, I'm out. And you want to talk about pre-existing condition? There's a lot of drivers that are very old. Bottled water will be in short supply, and it gets into the water in in China and Wuhan. They had to break their telephone. I mean, their fishing poles. They had to break their fishing poles and keep those guys out from fishing there, and threw the fishing poles in the water so they wouldn't fish there again, because the water is polluted because their sewage goes into there, and it's going through apartment complexes, through the pipes. It can even go in through your septic, so the air comes through there. There's a trap down, but something has to take its place. Air can come up. There's a vent pipe at the top of your house, but there's also the ability for it to come through the sink. Alcohol, and the Walmarts are stocking up like crazy on those. I've got pictures of those. I'll put something together showing that, but there's pictures of these of peroxide and alcohol. Get you a spray bottle, make your own cleaner, because that's what people are doing. So y'all stay safe. I'm gonna get off this thing. I will put something together, and stock up now while you can. I don't think they're going to drop the driving age back down to something like 14 and have a bunch of people halfway driving 18-wheelers down the road just to deliver y'all stuff. I'm being honest with you. It's going to be a shutdown event. Stocks are going to plummet. It's going to be and if everybody's food, right? So get what you can while you can. Start a garden. Yesterday. Y'all stay safe.